G'day, if you're an accountant in Australia, I've got a question for you. Are you feeling that squeeze on compliance work? Well, you're in the right place. We're about to talk about how you can build a solid bridge from that basic compliance grind to high-value advisory, all by using one really powerful tool. Right? Let's get into it. So let's just be honest for a second. Does it feel like you're working harder than ever on tax returns and base statements, only to see your margins getting thinner and thinner each year? It really is a race to the bottom, isn't it? And you're not imagining it. The value clients are putting on straight compliance work is dropping, and it's dropping fast.
The hard truth is, technology and software are absolutely commoditizing traditional compliance work. It's happening right now. The firms that are going to thrive, really thrive in the coming years, are the ones stepping up to become genuine, trusted advisors. But advisory, it's one of those words that gets thrown around. It can feel a bit fluffy, can it? What does it actually look like day to day?
Well, this here really lays out the fork in the road. You've got the old way, which is a compliance-focused volume game. It's transactional, you're always chasing the next job. And then you have the new way, the advisory-led model. This is strategic. This is about building deep, meaningful relationships that create massive, tangible value, not just for your client, but for your firm's bottom line. You've literally stopped being a line item expense and become their most valuable partner. And you want to know the real opportunity here? It's something your clients don't even know they need. See, most business owners, they're completely flying blind. They look at their own profit and loss statement, sure, but they have zero context. Are they actually doing well? Are they average? Or are they leaving an absolute fortune on the table? The thing is, they just don't know. And that uncertainty is a huge risk for them and a massive opportunity for you.
So that's the gap. How do we cross it? You need a bridge. A proper, structured bridge that turns the vague idea of advisory into a rock-solid, valuable system you can roll out with your clients, well, pretty much straight away.
And here it is. It's called Top 20% Benchmarking. Now, forget comparing your clients to the industry average. That's useless. The average includes all the businesses that are struggling or about to go bust. Your clients don't want to be average. This system compares them against the absolute best in class, the top 20%, showing them exactly what's possible and giving them a crystal clear target to aim for. And look, this isn't some newfangled idea we just cooked up. This stuff is badly tested. Benchmarking as a discipline was basically born at Xerox back in the 80s, when they were getting absolutely hammered by their rivals. They used it to figure out, step by step, what the best companies were doing differently. What was pioneered there has now been adapted, bringing those exact same world-class principles to Aussie small and medium businesses. You know, it really just boils down to this classic insight from the great Peter Drucker. What gets measured gets managed. Benchmarking gives you, the accountant, the cold, hard measurements. And with those numbers, you earn the right to manage the conversation, shifting it away from just reporting on history to actually shaping their future strategy. Okay, sounds great in theory, but how does this system actually work in your practice? Well, the good news is it's all built on a repeatable, step-by-step framework. The secret sauce is this proven 10-step framework. And you have to understand, this is a full playbook for your business. It's not just a bit of software. It walks you through every single stage, from integrating it into your practice and gathering the info in steps 1 and 2, right through to how you set your fees and, crucially, how you educate your clients on the incredible value you're about to provide. It's a structured path to building a really profitable advisory arm. The whole system really works like a visit to the doctor. Simple as that. First, you have the diagnosis. That's the benchmarking database. It uses data from over 400 industries to pinpoint exactly where the performance gaps are. Then you have the prescription. The advisory database gives you a library of over 350 proven, practical strategies to fix those specific problems you just found. Diagnosis, then prescription. All right, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's get into the results for a pretty typical client, and more importantly, what it meant for the accounting firm who helped them. So just picture one of your standard clients, maybe a builder. They're turning over good money, but you know their profitability just isn't where it should be. You're doing their annual compliance work for, say, $3,000 a year. You've got a gut feeling they could be doing better, but you don't have the hard data to really kickstart that meaningful strategic conversation. And then you run the benchmarks. And straight away, one number just leaps off the page. Their subcontractor costs are at 70% of revenue. But the top 20% of builders, they're running at 40%. That single insight, that one number, becomes the entire focus. And after 24 months of you providing targeted advisory, just look at that transformation. It's incredible. By focusing on closing that one gap,
That client's annual profit went up by $1.7 million. Think about that. That's a life-changing result for that business owner. And it was all sparked by a single data point you uncovered.
So what about the accountant? Well, that client who is paying $3,000 a year for compliance is now a $48,000 a year advisory client, and they are more than happy to pay it. Why? Because they're not paying for your time, they're paying for outcomes, and they can see a massive return on their investment with you. And this is not just a one-off fluke. These results are totally scalable. We see sole practitioners adding over 80 grand in new advisory fees in their first year, and that's usually just from their existing clients. A small firm can easily add $250,000 to their revenue. This right here is the absolute crucial mindset shift. You have to stop selling your time. You have to stop selling a report. You start selling the dollar value of the profit improvement you've identified. When you can sit in front of a client and show them, mate, there's an extra $120,000 of profit just sitting there, your advisory fee becomes a complete no-brainer. It's just a smart investment. So let's just pull this all together. What does this all mean for your practice? How does this give you a real, sustainable edge over every other firm out there? Here's why this is your unfair advantage. You're not starting from zero. You already have the two most valuable assets you could possibly have, your client's financial data and, even more importantly, their trust. This system simply lets you leverage those assets. It makes advisory real, tangible, and based on hard evidence. And that immediately sets you leagues apart from the firm down the road that's still just churning out tax returns. Look, at the end of the day, it really comes down to this one simple question. Every single one of your business clients wants to be a top performer. They all want to be in that top 20%. They just have no idea how to get there. They are crying out for a guide. The only question left is, who is that guide going to be?